All right. So depending on where you are, this is very late. It's actually very late here too. It's like 11:30. So it's like um I think it's like 3 a.m. I think it's like 3 a.m. in Nigeria, 2 a.m. in Ghana. I don't really know for other African countries. So I slept earlier on, so I'm awake for the Asian session. So I'm just running you through some of the things I'm looking at. So the Australian, like I decided to do this because of someone asked a question about the news. So this is what was released, right? The There was a CPI, and the CPI is high. So high CPI means increased inflation. If there is high inflation, it means the currency is going to be weak. So I'm not sure how those two guys understood the news, but the thing is, if you don't understand it, don't trade it. It's better not to trade it than trade information that is wrong. So for me, I was not even looking at the data. I was just simply looking at what was happening on the chart. So what does that translate to the AUD pair? So if there is weak AUD, you know, one thing that we mostly we get this wrong sometimes is we are trading currency pair, right? So if AUD is weak, it doesn't mean it is weaker than every currency. So that's where you have to be careful. Like AUD might be weak, right? But compared to other currencies, it might be strong. That's why you always come back to the chart and see what is happening on it. So AUD and ZD. AUD is weak, and we see this level here. If you guys remember, this was the level where we're looking at. We're looking at a head and shoulders from here, from this level here. Like this uprise did. Broke lower, extended lower, took out liquidity from this low, build up liquidity and pushed here. Now price is back here. It has taken now this high here. So it makes a lot of sense for price to come down here because it did a little bit of liquidity build up here. So if it is coming down, it might want to take out liquidity below here and below here and come back into this zone, or even attempt to take liquidity below before it continues to the upside. So if that is the case, what we want to do is currently you don't want to be, if you want to be aggressive, that is fine, but that is tricky. You want to see a break of this level, a retest, and that confirms continuous pushes to the downside. So today is depending on how you're looking at it, it's Wednesday, but we are yet to enter into the London session. So just wait a few more hours. If you get a bearish close below here, wait for a retest and sell. If it breaks to the upside, that is a totally different thing. So you stay away, right? So it's as simple as that. You wait for the setups to come to you. You have a plan based on what you are seeing. If the market shows you what you want to do, then you go for it. If it doesn't show you, you forget about it. If that is the case, then what do you expect? You expect more pushes to the downside on AUD USD. So let's look at the 8-hour time frame. So here we had a big push to the downside, but before that, let's even look at the daily time frame. So on the daily, we are sitting on a big chunk of liquidity here, but we might be looking to come down to complete the range, the downside here, long term. So if that is the case, how would you want to approach this? So on the daily, we see a 3 point reversal where you have 3 wicks to the upside, right? So 1, 2, 3. That is a complete reversal. If you go to like a lower time frame, you see like all those 3 points. You see the market try to make 3 pushes to the upside and it failed. It actually shows more here, about 1, 2, 3. But currently, these are our trade. You see, price in general, you don't want to taking a sell at any low point is tricky, because if you look at it from the bigger scheme, we've dropped and then we're at a low point here. So selling anywhere at a low is tricky. So how do you want to approach this? And this week is also unique because we have NFP coming. So a lot of things is expected. If this wants to continue going down, it will build more liquidity here and then make a big turn. But if this wants to go up, it will still do the same thing, but fake out a sell and then push back up for a retest here. So long term, this is a sell, but there's a lot of scenarios that could happen here. So personally, AUD USD is not my favorite. Not because it's not like a favorite pair, it's not like a pair I don't like to trade, but because anytime I'm selling and the price is too low, I don't like it. And anytime I'm buying and the price is too high, I don't like it. It doesn't mean price cannot. At this point too, this was a low and it kept dropping, but it's just personal preference. So what I want to do here is, let's look at the psychological levels. If you've watched the video I sent, you would understand this. I sent a YouTube video on how I draw my psychological levels. If you've not seen it, check the YouTube, right? So price is at a very key point here, 0.65. AUD USD, NZD USD, and the other USD pairs, they respect psychological levels a lot, right? So because price is sitting at a key level here, 0.6, this is not something I would be. If I actually want to take a trade, I'll actually be looking to buy. So how do I want to play this? If I want to sell this, I want a complete breach, at least a 4-hour break below 0.65, comes back for a retest, then long term I would look to sell. That is the only time I'll be looking to sell AUD USD. So even though AUD is weak, it doesn't mean it is weaker than USD. That's what you have to be like careful. Like during the news, if AUD is weak, it's going to react weak against all the pairs. But after the news, now the individual strengths of the currencies are going to put to play. So you need to take it one after the other. So let's look at AUD CHF as well. So AUD CHF has a very similar structure long term to that of USD CHF, because they've been dropping together. The same thing here. You had a big drop and price is now at a low. So this is not something that I'm attracted to because it's too low. Again, there's nothing like low for the market. The market can keep going. And we have this wick here from 2020, back in the when COVID was a big deal here. But this was a CHF. It's a CHF wick, not a wick created by AUD. So this could continue pushing down, but this actually makes more sense to me than AUD USD. Why? Because here we breached a major psychological level, 0.6000, right? And we came for a retest. So breach retest created a double top. Right, and the same kind of 3 points reversal here on the daily. But what I want to see here on the daily, because this one we are looking at swings. This is currently the daily time frame. We are looking at big long term moves. So on the 4 hour time frame, what I want to see is a breach below the low, a pullback, so something of this sort, and then I'll continue selling, targeting the next 125 for the next major quarter point below AUD/CHF. So that's what I'm thinking for AUD/CHF, because we are currently in this level here. Again, you don't want to do anything funny now, because this is also possible, right? Even though this is bearish, this is a big structural point. Anytime price is ranging, it means orders are being collected. Depending on where the market finds a lot of orders accumulated, then it will decide to go up or down. So what could also happen here potentially is a push up to take liquidity here, retest the structure, and then push down. So those are, I'm still looking to sell. I have no bias on AUD/CHF, but I'm either going to wait for a break below and a retest, sell down here, or push to the upside for the retest and look to sell to the downside. Right. So AUD/CHF. So the last thing I'll look at is AUD/JPY. It looks like AUD/JPY is the only one that might actually drop. Right. So same thing. This is better than AUD/USD, because AUD/USD is directly sitting on a liquidity level. So just like I said on the page here, so we are trading below 92.500, right? And we have 90.00 here. So it makes a lot of sense for price to continue dropping. And this is just 96 pips. This is something that price can just do tomorrow, right? 96 pips on AUD/JPY is not a big deal. So what you want to see is a bearish close here. If there is a bearish close, and if this risk reward makes sense to you, you can sell here. Stops just a few pips above the wick, and this is 1:7.6 risk reward ratio. But then what I would do is I would look for, how I approach my risk reward ratio is I would look for a more like final entry on a lower time frame. Like the time frames I use are very weird. Like I use the 7 minutes, the 13 minutes, the 10 minutes. So if I want to reduce my risk reward ratio, I would go in, join like a high volume session, like the London session or the New York session. It means I already have my bias set, and I'll be playing the price action to find like I know that I'm looking to sell, but I don't want to put my stop loss all the way here. So maybe I would look for the price action, look for the way it's playing out. Maybe it pushes up, right? Comes down, pushes up, comes down like this. If it does something like this, then in that case, I'm still going to sell. But in this case, I'll sell here, go for the same TP, right? But my stop loss will just be above this new structural point here, which increases my, let's put it above the quarter point, which increases my risk reward ratio from 1.7 to what? 6.57. So if I'm risking 1% on a trade, I am literally like making 6% on the trade. So, but this is stressful, and it comes with a lot of like precision and trying to get the market at the right place. And sometimes you could be wrong. You could be taking out and price drop. So if you don't want the stress, you just drop some decent amount of pips after the 4-hour break. You just let the market ride. If you're in profit, you could scale in, find some structure breaks, and add some more positions to it. So Euro AUD also looks kind of decent. It looks kind of decent. So we see this is a liquidity grab to the downside. That is an insane liquidity grab. Boom, boom. But One reason why this might not be an attractive buy for me is because of the way price reacted to this psychological level 1.6500. So here, what I would want to do is look to buy above here. So this is a good trade. Like, we have a corrective push. So let me look at the fips on this. Let me look at the fips on this. Close. That's a little tricky. So we price has the potential. Like, you don't have to understand this. I do a lot of weird things. You don't have to understand. So price has the potential to push to the upside here, but I'm not going to take any buy when price is below 0.65. So what I would personally do is to wait to see if price is able to breach 0.65, rated 0.65, and I'll look to buy to the upside. So that's my plan on Euro AED. So this is like the trades I'm looking at based on the news, but I would always go and look at structure. The numbers are good. I understand them. I can trade them, but sometimes I just decide not to trade them depending on what other trades I have on my account, right? So I'm currently in a sell on gold. The current trade I'm on is gold. I'm selling gold. I'm selling gold. So this is where I took myself from on gold. Right? I got in on the zone to the upside. I'm actually long term very bearish. I'm looking about 1,000 pips drop on gold, right? So I got in on the sell here, right inside here, and long term, this is where I'm looking at. It's a crazy trade, but this is like a swing trade. It doesn't mean like my day-to-day trades are going to be holding. Like today, like this, the trade I took right now, I'm actually off. I did a quick scalp. Like, I was not expecting this more push to the downside. I was like 5 lots on gold, so I took some profits. Okay, but this is what I'm looking at. There are two levels. The reason why I took the profit was because I'm expecting price to come back to test the high. I don't know when, but maybe landing on New York session, test the high. But because of this new level that has created, it might just test this level here, retest here, and then drop. First TP, like the first TP I'm looking for, like day trading, is just around here, which is like if it pushes down here, that's 150. But if it goes up here, that's 180. So when price comes here, I'll put my first position. If it goes here, I'll add my second position and look to make total between those two positions. That will be 330 pips on that. And based on price reaction and how I'm doing on those two positions, I'll add to it. But I'm very bearish on gold, which means I expect the Dixie to continue pushing to the upside. So if you've been following, you would see my bias on the USD is a strong USD. So USD card, unfortunately, I missed this trade. This is something I was waiting for, but I expect this to continue pushing up for a very long time. Right? USD cards should push up for a very long time, at least to the next quarter point, which is 1.37500 Euro USD. So Euro USD is a tricky one. So Euro USD, I'll only be looking for buy trades here above 1.07500. So if we get a close here, I'll go for 250 pips to the upside. But below here is a bearish territory for me. So it doesn't really support my thesis of a strong USD, but I'm still watching to see what happens here. Oh no, strong USD. Euro USD should continue pushing. I was confused. Euro USD should continue pushing down. So this is a missed trade here. A retest of the psychological level was a good one. But now it's not AD USD is not something I trade on the regular, so not something that is of interest to me personally. But GBP USD, I'm actually on a sell on GBP USD now. Let me take off the psych levels so that we can see the chart clearly. Everything is black, so you might feel like you're not even looking at candles. So GBP USD, I'm currently selling, but I still feel like when the market, no, this is on the daily, sorry. This is a daily. I'm currently selling, but this is what I'm seeing. The market should pull back up just a little bit. So if you want to join me on this sell, this is what you're looking at. Just a pullback here. Pull back here, back into the zone, and then you sell. I think my TP is on the 30 minutes, I think. 65. All right. So this is what you are looking at. A retest of the low, just as a day trade for tomorrow. So landing session, I expect the market to pull back up, grabs liquidity here and drop. So that is like a straightforward trade on GBP USD. 70 pips with 28 pips stop loss. So that's almost 1:3. So that's what I'm currently looking at right now. Those are the two trades I'm currently on personally. But I got out of gold. I didn't expect, like, sometimes the Asian session is mostly good for scalping. You get some quick moves. Sometimes when you are lucky, it extends into the yeah. So this one dropped. Yeah, this is very sad because I actually got out of here and then boom, I would have made almost double the amount I made. But I'm still looking at those two levels I talked about here, like a rollover to this level or this level. So currently those are the trades I'm looking at. I actually did this because of the AUD. Yep. So okay, let me take this time to look at Euro JPY. So today we're selling Euro JPY. No, we're buying Euro JPY, and then we have to break even on Euro JPY. So if you look on the 10-hour, we are breaching this zone here. So this zone was very significant zone on the 10-hour. Price has had this week through that level, but currently looks so bearish. So that is kind of confusing at the moment. It's kind of bearish, but I don't want to switch. I don't want to switch biases right now for long-term pushes. But currently it's very bearish. What I'm looking, I might have some short-term trades. I I don't want to commit to any sales at the moment. But if this push holds, we might come all the way back to test this low here. And this is because of what I'm seeing on GBP JPY. I was actually looking to sell GBP JPY, but I missed a sell on GBP JPY. So GBP JPY long-term bullish. What I'm looking at is a retest of this level here. So I think they should continue pushing. They should continue pushing here into 172,600. From there, then I'll look to buy long term. But one thing that is concerning here is that we still have liquidity. Okay, hold on, let me check the 2 hours. I'm not sure if the 2-hour liquidity was grabbed to the downside. All right, so we still have liquidity sitting on top. So because I'm looking to buy long term, I don't want any sales, what do you call it, buy side liquidity sitting here. That makes it tricky, which means if I buy here long term, price is now going to pick that liquidity and push the price to the downside. So mostly, if I'm looking for a long term buy, I want the push to the downside or the retracement to grab all the liquidity to the downside. I will still have liquidity, which means if I buy here, this will be my TP. So the best thing that would be good for me, like I wish, but the market will do what it wants to do. If this pushes down here, that would be good. I'll look to sell here, right? But looking at the way I think the 30 minutes, right? Yeah, the way the 30 minutes close is not going here. We might get a little bit of pullbacks here. Boom, and then we continue selling. So this is a sell. So that means Euro JPY is good with broke even because it's going to sell for some time. Long term is bullish, but it's going to sell for some time. UJ is different because of the USD strength. It's going to push to the upside, but it will be a little slow if the JPYs are weak. You see how choppy it is. I still have the positions I had on running. They are in a small profit. But what I want to see is a total breakout of this consolidation bump to the upside. Let me see the view up. So how we are doing. All right, so this is very flat. So I want to see at least a break out of the range or a break above the view up. And I'll look to buy this to the upside. So I don't know if people are still here, but I'm here talking to myself. All right, so that is it. Someone wants to talk. Okay, I was not looking at the Stanley. You can talk. I don't know how long your hands have been up.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification. I was the one that started that comment on the AUD news. So I think I've corrected myself. Though initially I dived into return, bought for some Y before leaving the market. Now it's going downward. So I really want to appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Oh, is AUD AUD going down?
No, AUD USD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it did a big liquidity. I think AUD JPY is the best amongst them because we already have a strong JPY. So a week, if you have a strong JPY and a weak
AUD.
AUD, it makes it a very good one too. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. If there's no more question, I'll end here. I think I might upload this on YouTube. Feel like doing something crazy here. Drop some 20 lots on this. Scalp this to the downside. I'll think about it. All right. So, someone wants to talk. K Forex. You can go ahead. K Felix. Sorry, I said K Forex. Anything that start with F is Forex to me. So, K Felix, you can go ahead.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you, sir. You said
You're
something
welcome.
just on AUD JPY. You said AUD is strong. I don't really get what you said just now.
I said AUD is weak according to the news.
Okay, okay, okay.
AUD is weak according
And
to the news we had.
and
So,
money, right? Okay, okay.
and JPY is strong. So JPY, I've not looked at the JPY index yet, but I'm just basing it on I'm just basing it on how the JPY pairs are moving, but let me look at JPY basket. So we expect JPY basket to be pushing up, right? So JPY basket is pushing up. So this is how you can actually find very good trade. Let's say Dixie is strong, right? And JPY basket is weak. Then the best pair for you to trade is to buy AUD JPY. So it's a very straightforward way to look at trade. So now you already have a bullish bias on USD JPY, and you just find an entry based on your strategy, and then you're good to go. So AUD JPY is going to be very slow. The opposite also happens when you have two strong pairs. So currently we have a strong Dixie. The Dixie is strong. Okay.
All
Dixie
right.
very strong. JPY is also strong. So it means USD JPY is going to struggle because now USD is pulling it and then JPY is also pulling it. So it makes it difficult for the pair to move, right? So it's good to pair a weak pair and a strong pair. So how do you determine that? You can use the various indexes, or you can use we have like every currency has its index. Like you have like, this is AXY, the Australian dollar index. The BXY is a pound index. These are mostly good for swing trading. In intraday, it's a little tricky to use it. This is the Canadian dollar index, CXY. EXY is the euro index. So if you're planning your swing trades, it's good to look at this. ZXY is for New Zealand, and JXY is the same as how do you call it? JPY basket. So you actually look at it, the JPYs have been weak for some time. They are now looking to pick up some strength, but that strength might just be short term, and then it might continue rolling down. So it's good to look at the index, especially for swing trades or long term pushes. Gives you an idea. So XXY is Swiss franc index, and there are other things to look at as well. Yep.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right. So I think we have no more questions. So I'm ending this session here, and I'll upload it on YouTube and share the link on the page so that if anyone wants to watch what we talked about, the person can do that. All right. Good night.